Welcome to episode 87
Yay!
of Just One More Topic. I am Tridrachius.
And I'm Rar Bagels.
And we're going to talk about GDC. But more
Specifically,
yes, that. We're going to be talking about the impact of virtual reality and how it's impacting video games. Now, several episodes ago, we talked about Oculus Rift and how Facebook bought them out.
Yep.
And what that meant for Oculus Rift. Well, they've got a shit ton of money now. They've got a multi-billion-dollar company that is backing them.
What did it mean for them? Bunches of money.
Bunches of money.
That's well, man.
Just like a game that is now starting to sweep our offices called Adventure Capitalist.
It's all about the money.
It's all about the money. There is no more
Money,
problems.
money.
No more problems. Just more money. Just more money, no more problems. But here's the thing. With virtual reality, everyone was kind of speculating when Oculus was first announced, hey, this is actually a really cool idea. I wonder what's going to happen with gaming moving forward once Oculus Rift launches. Since that time of like 2 or 3 years ago, everybody's jumping on board the VR train now. Choo-choo!
Developing stuff for the virtual reality train. It's not exactly like it's a staple yet.
It's still...
Affordability is still...
kind of out there. Yeah.
And content is still kind of...
Yeah.
So...
But the thing is, you've got Oculus Rift, which is now owned by Facebook, multi-billion-dollar company. You've got Sony making Project Morpheus for the PlayStation 4, another multi-billion-dollar company.
Also looking good.
Also looking very good. GDC is going on, a lot of hands-on with like Project Morpheus and Oculus Rift, and even Microsoft is on board with HoloLens.
Might want to mark there my Sony praise.
Oh, yeah.
But HoloLens is also good.
Yes, HoloLens is also looking pretty good.
Microsoft praise.
So we've got Microsoft, Sony, and we have Facebook, all with their VR, tech doodles and stuff.
Yep.
Even Samsung with, I think it's Gear VR? I think it's called Gear VR, something like that.
Who cares?
Who fucking cares? It's Samsung.
You're not competitive yet.
Yeah, you're not competitive, and apparently you're losing a lot of money based on your most recent fiscal whatevers, because you're turning your
fiscal whatevers, people.
Because your Galaxy phone line is now starting to look like the iPhone. I do not like the fact that you do not have a removable back. Coming with the GS, the G6, the Galaxy G6, S6G, what the fuck ever.
Samsung 6G. Some 6G.
I also didn't see a port for a micro SD card, which is also going to piss me the fuck off. And
if it's not there.
Yeah, if it's not there. If it's not there, but also the fact that no removable back, meaning not being able to swap out the batteries, it's also kind of very fucking stupid.
Yeah, that's kind of one of those things where...
Which I can understand, there was those complaints in regards to, like, the Galaxy line phones seeming kind of cheap and plasticky and blah, blah, blah. But the fact is that Android became a dominant platform for a reason. No. And Samsung became the leader of that pack for a reason.
Granted also that the aluminum shell is more durable and should help your phone's durability. Once again, the access to the back was so nice. Being able to replace parts so easily. Was
battery
a very
going
good
bad?
feature.
You don't have to buy a whole new fucking phone. Just buy a new battery to replace it.
Don't have to take it into a whole place either. You don't have to take it in to get it repaired and sue with ensuing service charges.
Suing.
But back to virtual reality.
Yes, virtual reality.
How it's changing gaming.
Yes. Back at E3, Sony was showing off things like Valkyrie or Eve Online Valkyrie, which was an interesting first-person space exploration shooter thing built inside of the Eve universe. It seemed really cool. We've seen stuff from HoloLens, also looking very promising.
HoloLens, looking like you could be in a room with your buddies.
Just
playing a video game.
Yeah, just playing a video game, just in the same room.
3D D&D.
3D
5D,
5D.
5D in and in.
5D and
3D D&D.
Yeah, 3D.
That's...
God. Samsung and now Microsoft are starting to really cause all kinds of problems with all these fucking acronyms. Of course, we kind of created the D&D one.
Yeah.
But anyway, so here's the thing. It seems really cool. We still don't really know any prices for any of these headsets. Sony's talking the Project Morpheus is going to be kind of an early 2016 type thing, first half of the year. But In regards to gaming, Project Morpheus seems cool.
Yep.
HoloLens seems cool. Oculus Rift seems cool. The thing is price is going to dictate
Yep.
where everyone's going to go. If it's cheap enough, people will go there. But also
Yep.
if there's enough software there,
Yep.
which brings the number one question. Who is going to make their product more mainstream enough to get enough of an audience that developers are going to be like, hey, we'll give a shot to your device?
Personally, I believe Oculus Rift is going to fall to the back of the pack
I also believe that.
because Facebook does not have a platform for itself such as Sony or Microsoft.
Right.
Sony and Microsoft have the platforms where they can make them work.
And they can release bundle offers. Like, hey, here's
Yep.
a PS4 with Project Morpheus. Here's Xbox One with HoloLens. Or here's your fucking new desktop PC with HoloLens.
Yep. So they have
Facebook can go, hey, here's a
more
new instant
accessible
message
ways.
with your Oculus Rift.
Yeah. So it kind of looks like Oculus Rift might start falling to the back of the pack. Now, I personally have not been able to try them, so I can't say and personally speak to which one performs best. The reviews I read are all pretty much positive for all of the above.
Yeah.
So when it comes to performance, you can assume that they're going to be at least fairly equal. HoloLens's initial models didn't seem quite as bulky as the
Yeah.
Oculus Rift.
Yeah. It wasn't like
And-
wearing a giant shoebox on your face.
Exactly. And stuff like that. So those things are always going to help.
Yes.
The sleeker you can make them, the more people are going to want to buy them.
And as far as my speculation, I really don't see a lot of people jumping on the VR bandwagon if it's
Not-
more than $200.
Yeah. I think that'd be about the limit. Is
Yeah.
200.
I mean,
You might be able to get away with 253, 100, or people are just gonna not worry about it and just play their other games because there's already so much content out there
Yeah. And
for other games that
For-
you don't need to spend your time playing the virtual reality one.
And for the cases against like Project Morpheus and HoloLens, I mean, Microsoft does have a little bit of a beneficial stance of being able to potentially pack these HoloLens devices in with like desktop PCs. But here's the thing. How much of it is going to be that big of a selling point? And both of these are going to be launching at least 2 years after the PS4 and Xbox One launched. So the momentum of just the hardware
Yep.
is going to be dying down. How many people are going to actually want to go out and purchase another $200 piece of equipment for this
Yeah.
for their gaming console?
It might seem like this is something that's going to have to wait to really take off till at least the next generation when they can
Most likely.
actually integrate the technology from the get-go. I think that's where it's got to happen. The next gen is where I think we're going to see it actually appear and actually start to really integrate itself with gaming.
Yeah, and that's we see last generation, with motion controls. Sony and Microsoft were both late to the game when it comes down to motion controls. The Kinect kicked the shit out of the PlayStation Move, but there was also a $500 million advertising campaign behind it. And we also see the fact that it did not really catch on.
Yeah.
It was pretty much it was what it was. It was a gimmick that Nintendo launched and was able to greatly succeed from. Now that we're 2 years in, or we will be 2 years into the PS4 and the Xbox One, it's fairly early. I mean,
Yeah.
these systems could last a long time, like potentially 10 years after launch. But it comes down to developers are not going to be there unless there's a big enough
Yeah.
audience for them to be like, hey, we'll take a chance on it. And anything like you'll get a diehard dedicated base at like $300. You'll get a better base at like $250, but $200 really needs to
200
be.
would really kick
Like-
it into high gear.
And that's a lot of people have been speculating that with the case of like Project Morpheus and with HoloLens, in conjunction with the cameras that both of those companies also launch with their gaming platforms, Kinect and the PlayStation camera, being able to use those cameras so that the game is watching you while you are in the game, which would be pretty
Yeah.
pretty fucking cool. Being able to move around and like your body movements are being tracked by the camera while you're also inside the game with this hollow deck type thing with
Yeah.
HoloLens and Project Morpheus. But that kind of brings back Oculus Rift is going to most likely fall behind because social games,
At least,
messaging.
yeah, at least when it comes to the realm of gaming, it's definitely going to fall behind. I also don't see it necessarily keeping up in general software uses
Yeah.
because you would assume that Microsoft is going to excel there.
Yeah.
That
And
they're going to really take over that audience if they're able to actually, use it to where you can walk through a building site and see the blueprints of the building you're about to build.
and
If
the
they can do
awesome
stuff like that, it'll obviously work itself into actual everyday life.
our wonderful epic beard guy, who is joining just one more level for writing purposes. He talked about the awesome thing with the HoloLens being able to be watching something, and the image to your eye looks like it's 80, an 80-inch TV, but then being able to take that image and then just kind of throw it over to a friend who's also wearing HoloLens. Just seamless
Yeah.
transition. Being able to watch a movie or be able to watch something like, hey, what? Look at this, and just futuristic stuff.
Yeah.
That's something that, granted, could still be 5 to 10 years down the line, but we are seeing these what will become
yeah.
final products.
Good product, good progress to it.
Yes, we are so far past the days of Virtual Boy.
Yeah.
So far past
Quite.
the Virtual Boy. But kudos, Nintendo. Kudos. You were ahead of the curve once again, just in a super bad way.
You gotta wonder if Nintendo's gonna throw their hat into the race.
Who knows? They finally chased the Skylanders Disney Infinity thing with their amiibos, which I think was cool at first until then they're now going to introduce different poses and shit. And I'm losing interest in
Yeah.
amiibo. Skylanders is still a cool little gimmick. Disney Infinity is also cool, being able to play with all your heroes from
Yeah.
Marvel and Star Wars, and
that cross branding and
the fact that Disney owns almost everything that you care
advertisement.
about.
Yeah.
That's they.
You love Star Wars? Well, play with our characters. You love superheroes? Well, play with our characters.
Oh, you just love Disney? Well, play with our characters. Oh, you love Pixar? Well, play with our characters.
Hey, look, we have access to Spider-Man now. Play with
Woo!
him.
So, yeah. Anyway, this was a good episode, I believe. We talked about VR, the futures of it, the new devices coming out. What do you all think as far as pricing? What do you think needs to happen for these machines to be able to be attracted?
Or will they ever work their way into gaming?
Yes.
At least, we'll say, within the next 10 years. Do they work their way into gaming in the next 10 years or not?
In a major way, not like where they're at right now. Right now, yes, they're in gaming, but just like we're seeing with motion controls, it's greatly deteriorating. Will VR...
If you see major titles start releasing things using VR.
Like Call of Duty, Assassin's Creed, Grand Theft Auto, which I was talking with Epic Beard Guy, and he said, why would Rockstar go through so much of a hassle to completely reprogram GTA 5 with a first-person mode and it not feature Project Morpheus and HoloLens? So,
there you go.
Let us know what you think of the
about
possibilities. So, it's definitely one of those interesting times in gaming. But I have been Tridrachius.
And I have been Rohrbecker.
And we will...
Sorry, letters.
We will
today
talk to you next week.